Hey players, it's time to grab your tea and have a seat. Let's discuss politics, crime, celebrity gossip, investigative reporting. Welcome to The Real Tea with Double D on GSMC Podcasting Network, where I am black and the news is always petty as hell, but it's accurate.
Hey players, welcome to a brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D. Of course, I am Double D, and we are on the GSMC Podcasting Network. So excited to be with y'all tonight to record a brand new episode, and this episode is affectionately called Lindsey, Loose Booty Graham. I declare, honey, Double D, you are a hoot. I declare. Almost gave Lindsey Graham a new nickname when I came up with Lindsey Loose Booty Graham because somebody got into the comments and said that I was being said that it was not a good name to have. However, I went ahead and stayed with the name because, I came back to the name just recently because I talked to a couple people and they said it was okay, big baby. So, hey, we're going to go ahead and roll with it. Until I get in trouble again, we're going to go ahead and roll with it. Lindsey Loose Booty Graham, I declare, honey, Double D, you are a hot boo-boo shitty mess. I can't tell you how many times people have told me that they don't call these people who I give nicknames. They don't call them any other nickname. I would declare, if you were in a professional setting and you just happen to say Lindsey Loose Booty Graham, how is that gonna go? Child, I don't want to be in the number one more time to see that. I declare. It will be a disgrace, players. I am so glad to be with you all tonight to record this episode. We got a jam-packed show, but of course, first I would like to welcome everybody to this episode of The Real Tea with Double D out in Facebook and YouTube land. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Y'all know I love to have a live audience, and I also want to thank everybody out in podcasting world for coming back and listening. These episodes are getting some really good streaming numbers. I am very proud of you all. Well, I'm proud of myself for retaining you all, and also glad that you guys support me this way. I wasn't expecting it, and things have been going so well, and I really appreciate every single one of you out in podcasting world, out in YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok world for supporting your girl, riding and flying with me through these times, honey, because I'm going to tell you, it's been a hot boo-boo shitty mess, but you know what? Double D gonna report on it all. All right. So as we know, sponsorships are back. So tonight we have a brand new sponsor. Now, this is an author. She has a brand new book coming out. Her name is Millicent, and she has a brand new fiction book. And she's going to come on and she's going to tell us about this book. It's going to be available on Amazon starting on July 31st. And when I tell you, honey, I'm excited about this book. I don't know about y'all, but I like to get my read on. And my favorite book that I ever read, I think in my entire life, may have been, other than Fahrenheit 451, would have to be The Coldest Winter Ever. That would be one of my favorite books of all times. But Fahrenheit 451 is absolutely one of my most favorite books. I read it in the 8th grade, and it is a book that I will always go back to. In fact, my children are going to have to read that book because it was so damn good. And the movies, well, the older movie is better, but I digress. So let's hear from Millicent as she tells us about her book. Remember, she is sponsoring this episode of The Real Tea with Double D, so we want to thank her for doing so. And you guys take a listen to Millicent as she tells us about her book. If Double D can find it, why is Double D so blind tonight? I need to clean my glasses when we go on this break, because I tell you, I know I got this in here. There you go.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chan, and I just wanted to come on here and just tell you that I really appreciate the response that I'm getting from you all about Rose in the Wind. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the main character. Her name is Carrington Rose, and I really and truly hope that it resonates with most of you. Carrington is a DA, and she currently lives in Missouri, and she has gone through a divorce. And she is just looking for a fresh start. She's originally from Morgantown, West Virginia, and she found a new job, and it is in Fairmont, West Virginia. Going through the divorce, And if any of you have, you know that sometimes it's a situation where you do a lot of soul searching and you figure out that there's something that you're missing or something that you need. And that's what Carrington has done. And she doesn't know. She has no idea. She doesn't know if the move is going to be what it is. She doesn't know if the new job is going to be what it is. She doesn't even know if she needs this particular job. But once she gets on her new job, she sees Dominic McCullen. And Dominic is everything that she felt like she needed. Dominic is smart. He's aggressive. He's confident. He is a smart ass. And it's everything that she just really hasn't had in a long time that she's missed. Dominic is a kind of man. He has a certain lifestyle and he has a lot of restraint because he's very disciplined and he's very focused, but he knows that he needs a certain type of woman. And in the perfect petal, we're going to get more into Dominic. But in here, we're going to find out that they are the perfect puzzle pieces for each other. So I just really want to thank you all for the response. I want to thank you all for listening to me. You know how I feel about love. You know, at my core, I love love. And this is really what this book is about. I feel like we don't have a lot in the world. And I feel like sometimes you just need another voice to just understand what it is you may be going through or just what it is you may be thinking about, and it's okay. The tentative date is July 31st. It is in the last part of editing, so I'm excited. And I just, again, thank you all for being there. It's your girl, Millie Chan. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right. So Millicent is telling us about her book, Rose in the Wind. It sounds like something that I would like to scurry on over and read. So you guys make sure y'all check that out. I'm probably going to refresh your memories closer to July 31st when she has her date locked down. But I just wanted to give you guys an introduction into Millicent, who will be dropping that book pretty soon. And she is sponsoring this episode. So thank you so much, Millicent Baker, who is the author of Rose in the Wind, that will be at Amazon and on bookshelves near you pretty soon. All right, players. Now, y'all know what time it is. Let's get to the tea. All right, players. So the first item on the agenda tonight, I know y'all heard about it, honey, but we're gonna talk about it a little bit so that way we can kind of see what is going on, honey. Because I don't know how President Biden pulled this rabbit out of his hat, but he just managed to do something that Frumpy Dump could never do. If y'all remember, Frumpy Dump actually told us for years that New Mexico was going to be paying for that wall, and they never put a dollar on the wall. In fact, Frumpy Dump ended up taking money from the military, millions and millions. I believe it was like $336 million from the military to pay for that punk ass wall that is like London Bridge is falling down. I declare, honey, it's a hot boo boo shitty mess. So today it was announced that Mexico is going to invest $1.5 billion into upgrading the border as President Biden meets with the president, Lopez. Girl, I ain't trying to pronounce this last name, but he met with the president of Mexico. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So he met with the president, and they agreed to $1.5 billion over the next 2 years to improve smart border technology. This move, the White House says, shows neighborly cooperation succeeding where Frumpy Dump administration vows to wall off the border and have Mexico pay for it, but they cannot do it. A series of agreements that the two countries hammered out as the leaders spoke called for several other concrete moves, including expanding the number of work visas and U.S. That the U.S. issues, creating a bilateral working group on labor migration pathways, and also worker protection, and us welcoming more refugees. Both also pledged to continue joint patrols for Mexico and Guatemala to hunt human smugglers along their shared border. But the Biden administration held securing border funding from Mexico after years of failed attempts by Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So it was said that borders that are more resilient, more efficient, and safer will enhance our shared commerce. Our shared commerce. Biden and Lopez said in a joint official statement, we are committed like never before in completing the multi year joint U.S. Mexico border infrastructure, modernizing efforts for projects along the 2,000-mile border. So that is, in my opinion, I would consider that to be an excess. Excuse me, a success for President Biden. I mean, this has been trying to go on for years with Frumpy Dump, and he was never able to do it. He took money from the military in order to build that punk ass wall that again is like London Bridge is falling down, honey. I declare it is a hot boo shitty mess. And for President Biden to come in, what is this, his second year, and to be able to come with this agreement with that president, I believe is great, especially since everything that has been going on at the border with uh interference from Applehead Abbott and all of these other governors that are interfering in this process. We have President Biden coming in and being the leader that he should be and saying, hey, let's work out some agreements. And they were able to come to an agreement for $1.5 billion. Wow. And my favorite part of it is I like the sound of making the pathways, migration pathways, and worker protections. I love the idea of having migration pathways. I've always said that if there was a easier or a more feasible way for dreamers to be able to realize their dreams and come over to the United States, then maybe we wouldn't have so many people at the border trying to come over illegally. So hopefully this is the start of something good. I don't know if it will be, but it does sound good to me. And again, it's been years in the making, and Frumpy Dump fucked it up every time. And now President Biden had to come in and clean it up. Now he actually made good on that. I still feel like he needs to go ahead and scurry his ass down to the border, so that way we can get rid of that talking point from the Republicans. The sooner that he does that, the better, so they can shut the hell up. And when he does that, honey, we gonna be making America move again. I declare, honey, it's great. All right, players. So, uh, I really want to know what y'all think. Players out there in YouTube and Facebook, put them thoughts in the comments, run them up, and we're gonna scurry on to our next batch of tea. All right, players. So the next subject that we gonna be moving on to, honey, I'm gonna give y'all some updates on uh let me get this picture up here for you because I know a lot of people that have joined my Facebook page are here for this particular reason, and we're gonna uh talk about this really, really quickly. Updates on Vaughn and Dre. And I declare, honey, this has been so very sad to talk about. And I'm just all of the misinformation and speculation that has been going on. It's just it's really sad in this case. With Vaughn, I really am hoping that, excuse me, y'all. I really am hoping that Vaughn can get well, but it doesn't, I don't want to say that, but the update on it that I have so far is that his mother has retained an attorney. Now, all the other things that you all have been hearing regarding Vaughn and Dre has been pure speculation. We do not know if CPS is involved in this situation. We do not know if uh uh Dre has lost custody of her children. We do not know any of that. We also don't know the reason why uh Dre is not able to go to the hospital. We don't know that. It could be COVID restrictions. It could be an investigation. Everything that we know about that is speculation. Like I told you all in the comments, I did call to the hospital, but I was not going to mention Von's name. And the purpose for that is the hospital had received over 6,000 phone calls regarding Von. What I'm not trying to do is have Von moved from his current location, and then nobody, his mother has to search for him again, because they're getting repeated phone calls. People aren't thinking in these cases, like, are we doing more harm than good? And the last thing that I want to do is more harm than good by being the person that calls that hospital, and then they decide, oh no, this person is just too much trouble, they got to get out of here, and then Von's mother, Letitia, has to find where her son is again. So I do know that COVID cases are on the rise. That could be a possibility. The reason why the hospital is on lockdown, because it is true, the hospital is not allowing visitors, but this is throughout the hospital. This is not just one room. So we don't know if it's because of safety precautions for Vaughn. We don't know if it's for COVID. I wasn't going to mention his name when I called up there because I didn't want to add more fuel to the fire. But my hope is that Letitia can retain an attorney, as well as she can find out what is truly going on with her son, and she can get justice for him as she sees fit. The two YouTubers that are reporting on this the most, one of them, some of the information has not been confirmed. So if we have information that's not confirmed, Double D is not going to be spreading it around. I just cannot do that because with a paralegal background, I know how it is to be on the other side of the pen and get sued. And I'm just not trying to do that. So I will tell you what we can confirm right now is, and I'm going to go with the other YouTubers words, and she said that his mother was able to retain a returning attorney with the funds that she was able to get, and that uh Dre has not been on social media, so we do not know what is going on with her. I don't know if she's in any of her private groups. I don't know that because we have subscriptions where people can sign up to support you, and then they can get access to things like private lives and stuff like that. I don't know, because if you are a subscriber of me, I can guarantee you that you're a person that supports me no matter what. So you're not going to be leaking information. Now, sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know if she's holding any private lives, but I can tell you that on her Facebook it's dry, although she blocked me, but I have my ways. And I can tell you that her YouTube is dry, as well as her TikTok account is on private. So there's no way of knowing what is going on with Dre and Vaughn as of right now. We just have to wait patiently, and hopefully his mother is able to make some leeway with an attorney, and at least be able to. What she's gonna have to do is show that for some reason she feels like Dre is incompetent. And if she's able to show that in a court of law, then she will be granted access to her son. She can also get a power of attorney and be the person that makes the decisions regarding his health. And they can go from there. But as of right now, we don't know anything. And that's all the updated information I have for you regarding the situation. Now, we're going to be moving along. But before I do, I will say that I have been saying some, sending positive vibes out to Vaughn, and I'm hoping that Dre gets the help that she needs, because it's obvious that something is amiss in that situation. I don't know if I just don't want to speculate and say what I think it is, but something has been going wrong, and apparently something has been going wrong for a very long time. When I see these arguments that people are posting between Vaughn and his wife, arguments happen in relationships. I think that it would be uh I think it's odd that we would act like arguments don't happen in relationships. We all get into marriages and relationships, and we have arguments and things like that. Now, when I have an argument with my husband, which the last time we had an argument was last year, I didn't record it. Had to be a reason why, but why she chose to do that. But that's not something that I choose to do. Um, we all get into arguments and we all have hard times, but You just have to learn to work through those things. I don't know if they were able to do that or not, but I'm going to send healing vibes out to Vaughn, and also sending love to his mother, hopefully hoping that she's able to see her son as soon as possible, and hopefully hoping that Dre gets the help that she needs. Now, honey, let's scurry along. We got more tea. Okay. Hey y'all, are y'all still here? Please let me know because I my computer went dead. Please let me know if you're still here. Somebody put it in the comments. Is anybody over on Facebook that can on TikTok can let me know if you can hear me? The picture is still up. I know the picture is still up, so that's good. You're here. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, sweet love. I hear my echo, so we should be good. Okay. Are we good? Can y'all hear me really good? Okay, Double D messed up. She didn't plug in her computer before she. Y'all, I promise this is awful. Anyway, let's take this picture down so y'all can see my embarrassed face. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. All right, now let's move on and get to some more tea, baby. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. Double D messed up bad. All right, players. So yesterday I streamed the Uvalde footage. I don't know if you all joined me on Facebook and TikTok, but I did stream the Uvalde footage, and I did also make a follow-up video um letting you all know the response. And the response has been the same throughout the community, asking for someone to be held accountable for these for this terrible, horrible, horrific, disappointing, disgusting response that the police gave in to the madman that decided to do something like that. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. So after the footage was placed out by this newspaper, the newspaper was scolded horribly by the mayor of Uvalde, as well as the city council and a couple of members of Congress from Texas. They actually scolded the Austin American Statements uh, uh, news media company that released this information. This stuff is the editor, and the editor is actually defending his decision. And part of the reason why they are upset about this video being out is because they claimed that on Saturday there was going to be a meeting where members of Congress, Texas members of Congress, and other DPS officials and stuff like that we're going to release their own video. And some of the stuff that was released, basically they weren't going to release the full video like Austin American Statesman did. They weren't going to release the full video. They were just going to release uh portions of it. So they were upset about this, and Uvalde's mayor actually called them chickens, and then one of the members of Congress came behind and called them chicken shit. It was really, really distasteful what happened there. But all of the family is actually supporting this decision. The family is supporting, and the editor actually came out and said he's defending the news organization decision to publish the video. Um, he said that there was two versions of the video that was posted, one more heavily edited than the other, and he supports this decision. He said it's tragic and it's hard to listen to. They actually edited out the children screaming in the video, which is, I'm glad that they did. They edited out the sounds of the children um screaming from the video, but the sounds from the gunfire can be heard on the video. Some other news organization broadcast part of the video but edited out the gunfire. The editor said the video that we obtained is 1 hour and 22 minutes long. It is tragic to listen to and watch. Our decision to publish along with our news partner KVUE comes after a long and thoughtful discussions. And he said that he felt like the family needed to see the full video, and he felt like if we would have waited until Sunday, they would not have gotten the full video. And I'm going to have to concur with him on that. So my thing is, what's next? What's next? Now that we know that there was a huge failure, now that we know for sure, we've seen the video footage, we know for sure that it was a huge failure. What is next? Pete Arredondo is still on the police force. Some of these people that were standing out there with their cell phones, looking at their cell phones as children were bleeding out, some of these people that were getting hand sanitizers, these police officers that were running away from the gunfire with bulletproof vests on, they are still employed. What is next? When is someone going to be held accountable? Because they got there mere minutes after the gunman went into that classroom. And it took one time for them to go in that classroom for them to take him out. If they were able to take him out the one time 77 minutes later, then they would have been able to take him out with the one shot 33 minutes, 3 minutes later. I declare it's a disgrace. So who is going to be held accountable for this monstrosity? We haven't heard anything from Applehead Abbott regarding this. Beto, of course, is saying that um this is a huge miscarriage of justice, and we need to do something, of course, to strengthen gun laws. And people in Uvalde need to be held accountable. And I'm going to have to concur with Beto, as well as the families of the victims, as well as everyone in the community, because they are all echoing the same sentiments. Who's going to be held responsible for what happened in Uvalde? Y'all grab y'all teacups. Get ready for the tea report. All right, players. So we have some movement on abortion access. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about this, but honestly, I feel like their DOA, unless they do something about the filibuster, this shit is not going to do a goddamn thing. But I digress, honey. So, House Democrats have once again revisited the Women's Health Protection Act, and they also added another bill called the Ensuring Access to Abortion Act. The House voted today with a 217 to 204 vote along party lines to set up a debate for these two bills. Um, and then they're going to have three other bills were also included in the rule. 7 Republicans and 3 Democrats did not vote. Nancy Pelosi previously said that the votes would happen as soon as possible. And excuse me, Nancy Pelosi said that the votes would be held on the legislation this week. The Women's Protection Act, which the House approved in the past, like I just told you all, calls for codifying abortion rights into federal law and strengthening protections that were included in the Roe decision. The House cleared the legislation in September, but it faced downward at the Senate. It did not pass at the Senate. In fact, Joe Manchin blocked it twice, first in February and then again in May. The second bill, the Ensuring Access to Abortion Act, seeks to safeguard women who travel to receive abortions if their states ban the medical procedure. In states where abortion is legal, it would make it unlawful for facilities to restrict access to the procedure for individuals who do not live in that state. So I think that is a really good bill. And I hope that if they don't get the Women's Act, I hope they get that one passed. But I mean, it has to go to the Senate. what's going to happen at the Senate. That's the thing. The bill also offers protections for individuals who help others receive an abortion out of state and safeguards the movement in interstate commerce of abortion drugs approved by the FDA. And there was one other thing that came out today regarding the FDA, that the FDA cannot, said today that pharmacists cannot, listen to me, pharmacists cannot deny access to abortion pills. Apparently, there's been a large uproar regarding people uh, trying to get their Plan B pills, abortion pills, and stuff like that, and they're being denied at pharmacies, and pharmacists cannot do that. So that actually came down from the FDA today. So that's a good thing. So that is the movement that we have on abortion as of right now in the state of Louisiana. I will add, in the state of Louisiana yesterday, a federal judge, Louisiana federal judge, actually put another restraining order on the trigger laws. And they're going to be revisited later this month, so abortion can resume in the state of Louisiana. Although we do know that the attorney general did say that any doctors that perform any abortions, they could be subject to lose their license, or they could face prosecution. So, but the federal judge did put in that restraining order that did happen on yesterday. So I just want to let you all know about that. That's what the movement is on abortion. All right, players, we're going to scurry right along because we got more tea. All right, players. I declare, honey, the frumpy dumpsters and the big lies. I declare it's a disgrace. I know you can't see this out in podcasting world, but I have a photo of Frumpy Dump with his blonde hair up on the screen with a bunch of minions. A bunch of, excuse me, it's a match with the flames blowing in the wind, and then there's a bunch of bombs ready to be lit around it. That's what I feel like is going on with Frumpy Dump. Whenever he gets up in front of them, it's like a fire getting ready to ignite a whole bunch of bombs. And they are once again proving that they will believe anything, anything, anyway, anyhow. These conspiracy theorists never stop, and it is disgusting to watch. And this is the latest conspiracy theory that started on Saturday of this week, so much so that the Associated Press had to put out a report. And I want you guys to listen to what this guy has to say.
I have intel directly from my source that I've had for the past couple weeks that I wasn't able to reveal until now for reasons which you'll understand shortly. I'm not sure if anybody noticed this or realizes this, but the Supreme Court justices, in particular Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and John Roberts, have been under military protection since their announcement of a recess last week. John Roberts, in particular, is actually under NATO protection, not just United States military. The reason that these justices are under protection is because the 2020 general election for the presidency of the United States has been overturned by the United States Supreme Court. It's not a rumor. That's a fact. That happened. And all we're waiting on now is the justices to be properly taken care of, moved about around the world so that they can't be found. And you may ask why. Well, why would they need to be moved around? Well, the answer to that is because there are still sections of the cabal and deep state that are fully capable of pulling off a murder of not only the justices, but also their families. Keep them.
That's enough. It goes on for 2 minutes, honey. We're not going to sit here and listen to these lies. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So these people really believe that the Supreme Court has overturned the 2020 election in secrecy. And the reason why the justices were provided protections was because they were going to overturn the 2020 election and hand it to Frumpy Dump. They really do believe this. It is it I have no words. It's this. It's crazy as hell. I just do not understand how these people can believe anything that comes out of anybody's mouth. I mean, how could you believe something so stupid?
Be president, but we hate Donald Trump.
I mean, these people are just dumb. They're coming up with anything. So let me just go ahead and nip this in the bud. The U.S. Supreme Court voted to overturn the 2020 election results. Absolutely fucking not. No vote has taken place. Every lawsuit has been thrown out. The one lawsuit that they brought to the Supreme Court was thrown the hell out. Frumpy Dunn was mad. We just heard this. Was it yesterday at the January 6th Select Committee? He lost every single lawsuit. So why do you think that there will be a large lawsuit to actually overturn the election and then give it to Frumpy Dump? It is the most disgusting and just completely ridiculous conspiracy theory I've ever heard. The Supreme Court has not voted to overturn any 2020 election results. Past legal challenges to the 2020 presidential election has failed. The facts. False claims that the justices overturned the 2020 election have spread widely over several social media platforms in recent days, including Twitter and Facebook. The tweet was, breaking: SCOTUS has voted to overturn the 2020 election results. Justices have been placed into protective care, according to the recent leaked report. One Twitter user wrote on Saturday. The tweet was shared over 2,000 times. The claims are baseless. There is no ruling issued by the Supreme Court to overturn the 2020 election results, and there is no evidence of any leaked report about any such ruling in the news or anywhere for that fact, not even on Frumpy Dump's loose sleeve paper. Now, if that had really happened, do you think that Frumpy Dump would allow them to not say anything about it? Do you really think that Frumpy Dump would sit back and still be at roach infested Mar-a-Lago if that had actually happened? He would have been on the first chariot out, straight on up to the White House, baby. Give me my seat, please. That's what he would have been saying. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace, but this is what the Frumpy Dump taint sniffers believe. So I these people, I mean, these are the same people that believe that JFK is going to be reincarnated and Frumpy Dump's going to be named the president and JFK is going to be his vice president. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Moving on, because baby, when we get to this next T report, you're going to love it here. I was lying. That wasn't the next one, but it's the next one up. Uh, but this one right here is just a brief reminder that the January 6th Select Committee hearings have been canceled for tomorrow. Jamie Raskin did hint around that there is a new whistleblower for that has some whistleblower testimony, but and there are going to be future hearings possibly in August. But they did cancel the one on Thursday. I'm not sure why, but they did cancel it. Jamie Raskin went on to CNN where he was speaking about the possibility of more damning testimony coming out in the future. Uh, they are considering a second set of hearings in August. So we may be hearing from them very soon, public hearings in August, and we may be hearing from them very soon. The House of Representatives has scheduled its last votes for July 29th after lawmakers are scheduled to vacation during the entire month of August. Excuse me, not returning until September. So they are expecting to do more hearings in September. I lied. I said August. So hopefully that happens. Well, now, this next report, I promise you're going to love it here. The name of this episode is Lindsey Loose Booty Graham, and of course, I'm not gonna disappoint. I wanted y'all to see see Lindsay Loose Booty Graham all dressed up and looking all pretty looking for you. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So, child, Lindsay is, even though he's been ordered to testify, I really want y'all to hear these excuses on why he wants this subpoena quashed. Okay, so Senator I can't get over this picture. Hold on, let me get myself together. So Lindsey Loose Booty Graham, his attorney, he's speaking through his attorney. Of course, he hasn't spoke publicly about anything because he know he's gonna break down crying. He was on, I believe it was Newsmax or OAN or something. He didn't say anything about it, and it probably was a prerequisite, like prerequisite for him to come there. Like, hey, you can't ask me no questions about that subpoena, and so he didn't. They didn't even ask him about it. But if he had took his ass on, if he had took his ass on CNN, that was the first question they was gonna ask. But I digress. So speaking through his attorney, the attorney said that he just filed a motion to squash the subpoena, and they're gonna see what the court said. See what the court says. The excuses that they're giving for quashing the subpoena is that Lindsey has to be in sessions when they want him to actually testify. They said that they're they said that Lindsey cannot does not want to vote, uh want to do a do a absentee vote. So Lindsey needs to be in Congress on that day to participate in uh, different hearings and different votes at the Senate. So he cannot travel to Georgia for 7 weeks during the middle of the Senate session, and they're saying that it's a gross overreach, and they're asking for immunity and privilege provided by the speech or debate clause. I declare. What a disgrace. So that is what he is using to try to get out of this subpoena, that he can't travel. He can't go down there because he's going to be in special sessions. He doesn't want to miss anything. So therefore, he cannot be there for the subpoena. I can bet you by golly, wow, the Fulton County judge is going to tell his ass that, like he told him before, you are a material witness and you must testify expeditiously. So scurry your ass on down here. You better do, they do have where you can vote via absentee. You better get somebody else to cast your ballot if they are voting while you were gone, while you were down here, but you got to handle your business. You should have just shut the fuck up. You should not have anything to do with that. You should have stayed your scary ass at home. I'm telling you, loose booty Graham is gonna turn into loose lips Graham. That is exactly why he don't want to take his ass up there, because he know he gonna overtalk. I declare. It's a disgrace. And I'm gonna tell you something. I can't wait till it happens, because Lindsey should not have done that. He knows he don't want to go to jail, and he knows he doesn't want to he knows that he weak as wet tissue. He ain't gonna be able to stay in there, and Frumpy Dump knows it. That's probably why Frumpy Dump keep his ass close to the bosom, because he know uh well, not bosom, close to his tank, because he knows that Lindsey Loose Booty Graham is weak. I declare. It's a disgrace. Now, Hunty, I got Lauren Bobblehead tea coming up, so grab them teacups. You gonna need them. Oh man, Lauren Bobblehead, I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So I don't know if y'all heard, but baby, Lauren Bobblehead had something very special that she wanted to say. Uh, just a few months ago, actually, she actually had this to say about schools, what she wanted to do with the schools. And I want you guys to hear what she wanted to say, that what she had to say.
I have stood in line for some sort of movement that we can start in the schools to replace our children's desks with restaurant tables so they can unmask and be safe.
Oh, yes, 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 honey. She wants to replace the desk at the schools with restaurant tables. Well, now, thanks to Lauren Bobblehead, she can scurry her ass on up there to her local school, and she can donate her restaurant tables to them, because Lauren Bobblehead's restaurant has officially closed. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. Her ass was evicted. I don't care what she says. She was evicted. So Lauren Bobblehead, after running her restaurant for years, the grill has officially closed Wednesday after she couldn't secure a lease. In June, Lauren Bobblehead was told by her new landlord that her lease would not be renewed. She soon called She soon called to beg for her lease to be renewed, but they said there wasn't really much wiggle room or anywhere to compromise unless they sought to buy the building themselves. She claimed that she wasn't being evicted. The lease just wasn't renewed. That's the big difference. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So as of Wednesday, Shooter's Grill had a chalk sign in the doorway saying, "Thank you for the support. Stay tuned." So yeah, Lauren Bobblehead's restaurant has officially closed. So there will be no more gun-toting waitresses delivering burgers to your table. I declare. And it might be something good for Lauren Bobblehead because in 2019 the restaurant lost $143,000 and in 2020 the restaurant lost $226,000. And if Lauren Bobblehead is planning to reopen this restaurant, they better pay close attention to the campaign funds because we all know that Lauren Bobblehead was Venmoing herself money to pay the taxes on her business. She actually Venmoed herself. I think it was like 20 something, like $5,000 or more. It added up to like $21,000 in tax liens that she had, and she used campaign funds to do it because she didn't have the money. So they better pay close attention to the campaign funds because if she's trying to open another Shooters, she's gonna need some capital. And since they couldn't buy the building themselves, then she doesn't have the capital to do it. So they better be paying close attention. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. Unless Lauren Bobblehead gets some money from her new book. It's called My American Life. And I want y'all to listen to what Lauren Bobblehead said she had to do as a child in order for her to make it. And that's the reason why she's the conservative she calls herself today.
I have stood in line for government cheese and bread. And when I started working, I realized I could do a better job taking care of myself than government ever did.
You stood in line for government cheese?
I sure did.
What kind of cheese was it?
Well, it's almost like Velveeta, but it's not. It's not.
You've come a long way.
Yes.
You've come a long, not Parmesan.
No, I get the Gouda now.
Okay. Very good. Congressman Lauren Boebert, My American Life on.
Gotta come to All right, players. So Lauren Bobblehead, she said she had to stand in line for government cheese. Now look, players, I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor in the comments. Can somebody please tell me how old Lauren Bobblehead is? Because I do not believe with my whole chest that Lauren Bobblehead actually stood in a line for some government cheese. She always tries to act like, hey, Miss Gilda, how you doing? I'm sorry, y'all out there, but I see Miss Gilda. I'm sorry, I gotta speak, y'all. I've never spoken to her before, but she is a loyal YouTube user. She watches. I'm surprised to see you here tonight because normally you watch the show on Saturdays. I am so shocked to see you here. She watches my show every Saturday. I always get all these notifications because she's watching my show on Saturdays. And a lot of people don't watch me on YouTube, but faithfully on Saturdays, she watches my show and she leaves me all these comments. So I was surprised to see her there because it's usually on Saturday. So thank you, Miss Gilda, for being here. I hope I didn't put you on the spot too much, but I just wanted to let you know that your comments, I really do appreciate you watching and supporting my show every week. You have been supporting me for a very long time, and I really appreciate that. And you just don't know how much it means to me. And I really look forward to your comments on Saturday because they really make me feel like I'm doing something good. So thank you, Miss Gilda. I really appreciate you for being here. And I'm sorry if I put you on the spot. You don't have to say anything back. Now let's get to the tea because I'm getting teared up. Okay, so child, I declare. So Lauren Bobblehead said that she actually got government cheese. I don't believe what she's saying. I think she's lying that ass off and she makes me sick. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. I don't believe that she ever had a government cheese. Maybe she did, I don't know, but I don't believe her. She couldn't explain it because I'm gonna tell you something, government cheese don't taste shit like Velveeta. Don't taste nothing like it. Ain't really got no flavor to it. I declare it's a disgrace. So let's talk about this book. Now y'all better not, I'm not giving Lauren Bobblehead no free publicity. So y'all better not go buy this shit. She's got some horrible reviews on it already. So the book is called My American Life, and she dives into details about her criminal record. As y'all know, Bobblehead's got a rap sheet, honey, and she's got a rap sheet a mile long. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So she acknowledges that her arrest record gave her some pause when making the decision in 2019 to challenge to run for this and challenge her incumbent. She said her background upbringing and lack of formal education and run-ins with the law were sure to make this impossible. But she says she decided to do it anyway. The first arrest she mentions, though reportedly not the first one that occurred, involved a 2015 dust up with the police at a county jam music festival in Colorado, at which her well-known restaurant Shooters was providing the catering. Boba writes that as she searched for her employee who failed to return from break, she saw a police officer who aggressively grabbed a girl who had been detained for underage drinking and sat her back down in a chair, refusing to allow the young woman to return to her mother. She said she started yelling from about 15 feet away and quickly made her way over. She said she was fired up. Boba writes of how the altercation began. It bothered me seeing this young gal being treated so harshly. So that's why she got arrested the first time. I mean, well, that wasn't the first time, but that's the first one she talks about in the book. And then she goes on that she was 28 years old at the time, and she admit that the interaction devolved into a screaming match between her and the officers involved, and they warned her that the matter of the girl was none of her business. They were ordering me to leave, and they did. I brought out my smartphone and began recording. Uh, and she threatened to show the news media, and that's when she was arrested. She was put in handcuffs and cited for disorderly conduct and ejected from the festival. Cha, I declare. So she goes on to talk about one more time she was arrested, but she doesn't talk about she 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 doesn't talk about all the times she was arrested, because I believe she was arrested about 4 or 5 times. She only talks about two of the incidents. According to this, I'm not reading that dumbass book. Lauren Bobblehead can kick rocks for all I care, but I just thought it was funny that she talked about those and then decided to lie about them. I digress. So Lauren Bobblehead also talks about in the book that her husband did not flash his wangulus, which is his junk. I call it a wangulus. He did not flash his wangulus at a Colorado bowling alley. Now listen to this, honey. You're going to love this. So she said that even though her husband pled guilty to the charges of public indecency and lewd exposure, and he also served 4 days behind bars, she said that she was present at the time at the bowling alley, and she said that her husband did not know that the girl was 17 years old at the time. She said that the girl was working behind the bar, so her husband thought that the girl was of age, and that he did not show his wang, that he showed a tattoo that he had that was close to the wangulus. And I'm sorry, guys. You gotta be fucking kidding me. She said instead of fighting for his innocence in court, Jason took a plea deal, which resulted in him having a permanent criminal record. She claims in the book that no one could have known that the bartender was a minor, adding that the girl pressed Jay to show her a great tattoo in his private area. But here's the thing: how did he know that your man had a tattoo by his wangulus? That doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, because it fucking doesn't. So you just going around and telling people, "Oh, I got a tattoo between my legs. You want to see it? I got a tattoo by my wang. You want to see it?" You just walk up to random people who you don't know, and then all of a sudden they start telling you, "Oh yes, I want to see you. I want to see your tattoo." And it's not like this is at a bar or anything like that. This is at a fucking bowling alley. What's the strongest that they sell at the bowling alley? A Coors Light? I declare. What a disgrace. Bobblehead is a lie, and the truth ain't in her. Her husband showed that to them, and he wanted to show it to him. Now, I don't know if he knew the kid was 17. He shouldn't have done it in the first place. You in a public setting. You don't be pulling out your wang trying to show somebody a tattoo. How did they know he had a tattoo there? What did he pull was his pants falling down or something? It just don't make sense. It would be different if it was a tramp stamp. You know what I'm saying? Or if it was like, you know how sometimes when men have on boxers and they kind of crouch down a little bit in the crack of their ass show, it would be different if he had a tattoo like on his cheek, and maybe he had on boxer shorts and his crack show, and he's like, oh, let me see that tattoo on your ass. I can see something like that, but I do not see you having a tattoo such a sensitive area, and this random female who you don't know just happened to ask you to see it. Bobblehead, you can take that, baby, because you lying and the truth ain't in you, honey, and we sick of your ass. I declare, what a disgrace. So that is all Bobblehead had to say about her book. And child, I just don't know what to say about it, honey. All I gotta say is she lying and the truth ain't in her about that. And I wouldn't buy that shit if Jesus came down and told me, hey, you better buy this book to get into heaven. I still wouldn't buy it. Hey, you're gonna have to catch me another time, Lord. I can't do it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, God. Please, if you heard that, I'm sorry. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and move right along because it's time for y'all favorite time of the night, honey. It's time for y'all favorite game, and I know y'all gonna love it here. Players, it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. All right, players. So tonight's recipient of the Play Stupid Games Win Stupid Prizes Award is Alex Jones. Do y'all know who Alex Jones is? I'm pretty sure y'all do, but Alex Jones is uh, uh the host of the InfoWars. He is a frumpy dump tank sniffer at its finest. He is one of the people that they're saying that participated in the shenanigans on January 6th. And baby, I'm gonna tell you something. He's got some woman troubles on his hand. Apparently, he can't keep a woman, and if he can't keep a woman, she whooping his ass, or she want to snitch on his ass because Alex Jones' former wife, and I want you to keep in mind that he had another wife named Erica. Now she was arrested on Christmas Eve for whooping his ass. Domestic violence incident on Christmas Eve last year. She was arrested, but we talking about the previous wife. She said she had some evidence that old Alex Jones was involved. More evidence that of what Alex Jones was actually doing on January 6th, honey. And she said she's ready to spill it, and she wants the January 6th Select Committee to get in touch with her expeditiously. I declare, honey, I'm ready for her to do it. I want to do it. She said in a tweet, she said, I'm Alex Jones' ex-wife. I lost my kids for exposing InfoWars, even while he was under subsequent federal investigation. I have insider info, and I believe it is relevant to the January 6th Select Committee hearings. Please share. And then she shared a video of Alex Jones making threats where he was chanting things about 1776 and stuff like before January 6th happened. So child, I don't know what's going on, but she seems to be upset it. And Alex Jones fucked around with the fuck around, and he gonna find out, because if this lady know about it, she gonna spill it, because like she said she lost her kids and everything, honey. They had a very bitter divorce. This lady lost her kids and all that. He also getting his ass whooped by his ex-wife, most recent wife. She whooped his ass, and now this child, Alex Jones, I declare. I declare, honey, this is disgrace, and I'm gonna be ready and willing to hear any and everything she got to say, honey. Especially if she come with some proof. If she come with some proof, I'm hoping that she is the whistleblower or the surprise or the surprise witness. I'm hoping that for her. I declare, honey, wouldn't that be grand? All right, players. So I would like to thank y'all for joining me for another brand new episode of the Real Tea with Double D. I would like to thank our sponsor, Millicent Baker, who is the new author of Rose in the Wind that should be out on Amazon by July 31st. This is a tentative date, so I will give you guys an update on this book. She'll probably sponsor another episode before then to let us know when and if that book is actually coming out on that day, because we're gonna be ready and willing to support her, honey. I declare it's gonna be grand. I hope y'all really enjoyed this episode of The Real Tea with Double D. Make sure you thumbs up the video on YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube, and make sure you are following me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of these places, so you can keep up with the tea all day, every day. And also, if you can, make sure that you support my podcast, The Real Tea with Double D. It will be available wherever you stream your podcast. Thank you so much out there in podcasting world for coming back every week. Thank you so much for Facebook, YouTube, and TikTokers for all of your support. I love you guys so much, and make sure y'all come back next week on Wednesday between 10 and 10:30. Well, Central Time. Well, Double D will be recording a brand new episode, and I love to see y'all in the audience. I really appreciate y'all for being here. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, baby, let's keep this tea piping hot. Have a good one. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Real Tea with Double D. Remember to support by following on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And subscribe to the website to keep the tea piping hot at blackuritnews.com. That's BLA.